Imagine discovering a human body thousands of years old, still carrying tattoos beneath its skin. Not painted decorations, not temporary symbols, real marks made permanent with simple tools and dark pigment. The strange part is that these people had no tattoo machines, no modern needles, and no comfortable studios. Yet they still chose to mark their bodies. So why? Were ancient tattoos about beauty, identity, status, healing, or something deeper? The answer takes us far beyond modern tattoo culture. For a long time, many people thought tattoos were relatively recent. They were associated with sailors, soldiers, prisoners, or modern subcultures. But archaeology tells a much older story. Humans were marking their skin thousands of years before written history could record what they were doing. One of the clearest examples came from a frozen body discovered in the Alps. In 1991, hikers noticed something strange melting out of the ice. It was a human body preserved by the cold. The man became known as Ötzi, and he had died more than 5,000 years ago. When researchers examined his skin, they found dozens of tattoos. More than 60 marks have been identified, mostly simple lines and crosses. Some were placed around his lower back, knees, and legs, areas where his body also showed signs of physical stress. That created an intriguing possibility. Perhaps some tattoos were connected to pain relief or healing. We cannot know exactly what every mark meant, but the discovery proved something important. Tattooing was already established thousands of years ago, and Ötzi probably was not the beginning. Most ancient skin disappears over time, so countless tattoos may have left no trace at all. Archaeologists are seeing only fragments of a much larger tradition. Ancient Egypt provides another remarkable clue. Naturally preserved bodies from thousands of years ago have revealed permanent marks beneath the skin. Some Egyptian tattoos included recognizable animals and carefully arranged patterns. Among the most famous are the Gibelline individuals, whose preserved skin carries images that appear to include a wild bull and another animal, possibly a Barbary sheep. Think about that. Someone living more than 5,000 years ago deliberately placed animal images beneath their skin. They needed a tool, pigment, patience, and a reason to endure the process. But what did the animals mean? Power, protection, hunting, spiritual beliefs, ancestry? We cannot say for certain. The images survived, but the explanations disappeared. We can see the message, but not hear the original story. This also challenges an old image of prehistoric humans. We often imagine them as people focused only on survival, finding food, staying warm, and avoiding danger. But archaeology shows something more complicated. Ancient humans decorated themselves, made jewelry, painted images, created symbols, and cared about appearance. Tattooing fits perfectly into that pattern. A tattoo does not make a spear sharper or a shelter stronger. Yet someone decided that permanently changing their body was worth the effort and pain. That tells us something important. Humans have always wanted to express more than survival. They wanted to show who they were. And tattoos may be one of the oldest ways they found to do it. But how were these marks created? Modern machines can inject pigment into skin incredibly quickly. Ancient people had nothing like that. They could use sharpened bones, stone points, thorns, or other small piercing tools. Dark pigment could come from natural materials such as charcoal. The basic idea was simple: break the skin, place pigment inside, and let it heal. Imagine sitting still while someone repeatedly pierces your skin with a sharp tool. No electric buzzing, No modern anesthetic, no comfortable chair. Every mark has to be made by hand, and once the design is finished, you cannot simply erase it. It stays with you. So why endure the pain? One possibility is that pain itself was meaningful. Across many cultures, painful physical experiences have been connected with important moments in life: becoming an adult, joining a group, completing a ritual, showing courage, or proving endurance. A tattoo could therefore mean more than the final image. The process itself might have been a part of the ceremony. Maybe enduring pain showed that someone was ready for a new stage of life. Maybe the mark announced that something had changed. A permanent tattoo could carry a memory that could never easily be lost. It could represent an achievement, a belief, a relationship, or an important event. It could also show where someone belonged. Imagine seeing a symbol on someone's skin and immediately knowing something about them. Perhaps their family, community, status, achievements, or beliefs. Their body could communicate before they even spoke. In that sense, tattoos could act almost like a permanent language. But there was never one universal meaning. A mark that represented honor in one society could represent shame or punishment somewhere else. The same technique could serve completely different purposes. That is why ancient tattoos are difficult to interpret. We can describe what we see, but we cannot always reconstruct the story behind it. Thousands of years later, the image remains while its meaning is gone. Evidence from Siberia makes the story even more fascinating. The famous Pazyryk burials revealed bodies with elaborate tattoos dating back roughly 2,500 years. Some designs covered large areas of the body and showed animals such as deer and predators. These were not simple scratches. They could be detailed, carefully planned compositions. This shows that ancient tattooing could become a sophisticated art form. The artists needed a skill, patience, and a clear visual tradition. Yet once again, the exact meanings remain uncertain. The animals may have represented the strength, protection, ancestry, mythology, or personal identity. They may have carried meanings that made perfect sense to their creators, but are almost impossible for us to recover. In a way, ancient tattoos are messages sent across time with part of the message missing. We know somebody wanted to say something, we just cannot always hear the words. There was another side to tattoo history too. Tattoos were not always symbols of beauty or pride. In different societies, body marking could be connected with punishment, ownership, social status, or being an outsider. A tattoo could identify someone as a member of a group, but it could also mark someone as different. Your skin could communicate identity, but it could also communicate how society viewed you. As history continued, tattooing developed in many directions. Polynesian societies created highly developed traditions with complex patterns and strong cultural meanings. In Japan, tattooing became a remarkable art form with large and detailed designs covering major parts of the body. In other regions, tattoos became associated with sailors, soldiers, prisoners, or social outsiders. Then technology transformed the process. Modern electric machines made tattooing faster, more precise, and capable of producing incredibly detailed designs. Today, someone might get a tattoo to remember a family member, mark an important achievement, express a belief, or simply because they love the design. Thousands of years ago, the reasons were probably just as varied. Some tattoos may have been connected to healing. Others may have represented identity, ritual, belief. status, or belonging. Some may have been personal symbols understood only by the wearer, and some meanings may have seemed completely ordinary to the people who created them, even if they seem mysterious to us now. There is also a fascinating problem hiding in the way scientists discover tattoos. Sometimes the marks are obvious because a skin survives. Other times, they can be extremely difficult to detect. A tattoo may fade, become covered by tissue, or remain invisible without careful examination. Modern imaging and microscopic analysis can reveal details that people studying the body decades ago might have missed. This means our picture of ancient tattooing can change when new technology is applied to old remains. A body once considered undecorated may suddenly reveal permanent markings that nobody expected. It is a reminder that history is not always waiting in a museum case. Sometimes it is already there, hidden in plain sight. And every new discovery raises the same question. How many ancient tattoos are still waiting to be found? That may be the most important lesson. Ancient people were not completely different from us. Their tools, homes, and languages were different, but they still cared about identity, appearance, memory, belonging, and self-expression. When you look at a modern tattoo, you see machines, ink, professional artists, and detailed designs. But underneath all that technology is an ancient human instinct, the desire to make an invisible idea visible, to turn memory into something physical, to show other people something about yourself without saying a word. More than 5,000 years ago, someone sat down and allowed another person to permanently mark their skin. They could never imagine modern tattoo studios or social media. Yet they were doing something we instantly recognize. They were telling a story with their body. And maybe that is why tattooing never truly disappeared. Technology changes, styles change, cultures change, but the desire to express identity is much harder to erase. So did ancient people get tattoos? Absolutely. The evidence is thousands of years old, and the tradition may be even older than the surviving skin allows us to see. The real mystery is not whether they tattooed themselves. The real mystery is what those marks meant to the people who carried them. What did those ancient lines and animals represent? What story was hidden beneath their skin? And if you had lived thousands of years ago, what would you have chosen to permanently write on your own body? Tell me in the comments, and subscribe for more stories from human history.